This video is to demonstrate how to set up your ICANotes account for electronic billing and claim submission. The electronic billing pulls from 3 different areas within the program. The first is settings and directories. The second is patient demographics, and the third is from the clinical note. Let's start with the settings and directories. Please note that you need to be a group administrator in order to access all the areas for the electronic billing. The first thing you do in the settings and directories is go straight down to the very bottom of the screen, and you'll see a show button that you can click that will highlight all the fields that are required for electronic billing in yellow. You'll want to make sure that these fields are entered appropriately for all of the staff that you'll be billing for. There are 2 tabs. One is green, that's specific to the individual provider, and then there is a blue tab for group level settings and directories. We're going to start with the group level settings. In the group level settings, there are 3 specific tabs that I want you to focus on for your billing. The first is sites and letterheads. This is where you'll want to enter in your information for your specific locations. To create a new location, click New and fill in the yellow fields. Please note that you will need a 9-digit zip code for electronic billing. Once you have entered in that information, you can click over to the letterhead tab and use the facility address button to enter in that detail so that it will appear on the letterhead for the notes. Then move to the electronic billing tab, and you'll see some yellow fields here also. This first field, you can click Use Facility Address, and it will populate that area with the information that you've entered in the Facility Info tab. If you are familiar with a HCFA or CMS 1500 form, this would normally be in box 32 for place of service. The next field is down below for the billing address for this service facility. You can click in the top line there, and it will give you a drop-down list of locations to choose from. This will be in box 33. There is also a pay to address for this facility. Please note that the first 2 locations must be physical addresses. However, this third box for pay to address can be a PO box. Under the Service Modifier Codes tab, this is where you can create your service code short list for your practice. As you can see, we have a full list of psychiatric codes for billing. However, you may not use all of these codes, so this is the opportunity for you to select from the list and just pull out what you need, therefore creating your short list. The changes you make here affect the group. There is a section here for revenue codes. For most outpatient practices, this area is irrelevant, but if you're in an IOP or PHP organization, that you may utilize this information. And for everyone else, there's also the modifier code shortlist where you can enter in modifiers. The last tab is the insurance payers field. This is where you will enter in the insurance payers that you'll be billing for into the insurance payer shortlist. And to do so, simply click the New button, fill in at least the yellow fields, and click the Save button to save it in. If you do not know what your payer ID is, with your integrated clearinghouse, you should be able to log into their website and search for payer lists. And then you can search for the specific payer, and then that should give you the payer ID. If you have any questions about that, please contact your clearinghouse. If you need to edit any of this information, just click on the payer that you want to edit, update that detail, and click Save. If there are any patients who are already linked to that insurance payer, a pop-up box will let you know that it can update for all those people. And that's all that you need for the group level settings. Now let's move to the green tab, specific to individual. In this section, there are 2 main tabs that you want to fill out: the personal info tab and the billing rates and payrolls. This section will allow you to enter in the details specific to that provider that you're billing for. Simply click on the name and then ensure that the yellow fields are filled out at least that much. Then you can move over to the billing rates and payrolls. In this section, you can actually enter in the codes from your short list and then put in that billing rate that corresponds with it. You can either set a standard rate for that code for all payers, or you can individualize it by each payer. I find that it's easier if you have a lot of payers that you just put a standard rate, because the insurance company will pay whatever they want to, and they're going to adjust the rest anyway. If you have a lot of providers that use the same codes and they bill the same rates, we do have a copy and paste feature where you can click copy for those billing rates and then click on the next provider and then paste. There is a provider payrolls tab also. If for some reason you have a provider that you need to bill under a supervisor, click on that provider and then click on the provider payrolls tab. Here you can bill under supervisor. You could bill just for specific codes to bill under supervisor. You can also put in the billing taxonomy, the rendering taxonomy code. And if you want to limit that to one specific payer that's requiring that information, you can do that also. If you make a mistake and you need to remove any of these, simply click the red X. The same goes to the billing rates. Click the red X to remove it. And that's all there is for settings and directories. Next, we're going to move on to the patient demographics. To access the patient demographics, you can either use the search field here in the center or use the file cabinets over on the left. Go to the patient chart, and the demographics is in the upper left-hand corner. Simply click on the tab to access that field. Here in the patient demographics, you'll also notice that these fields are yellow. When we click that show button in settings and directories, it automatically stayed on, and it will stay on until you log off. At that point, you will need to click the show button at least one more time when you log back in so that it will stay on until you log off again. That show button can be found in settings and directories, and also down here at the bottom of patient demographics. You'll want to make sure that these fields are also filled in. Please note that if the person does not have a home phone number, you can use the cell phone number field as needed. This section is the patient information tab. Under the insurance information tab, there is also important information that needs to be populated, and that's for the insurance payer. To add an insurance, simply click the plus new button and then choose from your drop down, which is a short list of insurance payers that you created previously. It will populate the information for the provider down here at the bottom. Simply in the policy number. You can also enter in a copay amount, which is helpful later on in patient accounts. And then determine the patient's relationship to insured, if it's self, spouse, child, or other. If it's self, note that it will populate the patient's information into this field. If it is different from self, you can change the features here and also update the names, date of birth, gender, so on and so forth. If you need to remove an insurance, please make sure that you do not delete it unless it was put on the wrong person. If the insurance has expired, you want to make sure that you put end date. That will maintain the patient information, and also for any claims that are submitted from that day forward, we'll have the new insurance, and any insurances from that day previous will have the old insurance. It will save you a lot of pain later on. So please be mindful not to delete those. When you're done, click continue. The third section is the clinical note. Here I'll click on a progress note prescriber as an example. In this area, the information is coming from PN Part 2. What you're looking at is the date of service, the diagnosis, the code, and the clinician. As you'll see here, I just want to make a note that these codes here for the diagnosis are ICD-9 codes, and I need to convert them. I can simply click the enter button And as the clinician, I can convert those. You'll also have the opportunity to convert those in the billing productivity report. Here, I'm going to enter in my code as if I were the provider. And I'll also add on a code. And that's all from the prescriber area. For a non-prescriber, the details are the same. It's the provider name in the lower left-hand corner, the diagnosis, which is in a different location, but it's still the same field, the date, and the service code. And that's all that you need from the clinical note. The next section will cover generating the billing productivity report and prepping and submitting the claims. Now it's time to generate the billing productivity report. To do so, go to the Reports menu at the top of the screen and select Billing Productivity Report. This will bring you to the search form so you can fill out the criteria to capture the claims that you wish to bill. First, start with the date range. Select a range of dates for which you want to capture the claims, and this is related to date of service. For the patient's name, if you want to capture all patients or clients, simply click the red X to leave that field blank. You can also search by billing code or by location or by provider. I'm searching for just my claims, so I'm leaving my name in the field. Now please note that you'll also want to make sure that you exclude the non-billable service codes and that you're not pulling up the treatment plan. If you bill for the discharge summary, you feel free to leave that box checked, but for this demonstration, I'm going to remove it. And then there is a box down in the lower left-hand corner with a prepared save to file. Those are claims that have already been submitted, and we don't want those in our report. To save those settings, simply click Set Default Search in the lower right-hand corner, and then click Save. This will save for your groups. So anytime anyone tries to generate a billing productivity report, it will have those settings that you've already saved. Now click Billing Report Expanded. On the Billing Report Expanded, it will give you a summary of the different encounters that you have selected. These will show in the aqua box at the top. Here we have 9 encounters, 3 are ready to submit, and 6 are missing information. If you'll look, each claim will have the patient's name, ID number, date of birth, the diagnosis, the insurance, the provider, the location, the code, the date of service, and the total charge. The goal is for all of these to be green. This is called a billing encounter status. Right now, our billing encounter status for this first claim is that it's not ready to submit. And it even offers for you to click to see what's missing. It tells me that encounter information is missing and that I need to go to the work areas to fix it. And it appears that I'm using an ICD-9 code with the data service, which is 1015. And as you know, ICD-10 codes went live for the US as of October 1st, 2015. So to fix this, I can actually use this Edit Work Areas button to the right, click Enter for the diagnosis, and I can convert it. Hit Done, and Continue. I will check my status again, and it's green, which means it's good to go. Now the goal is to make sure that all of these turn green. And if you have had the program set up correctly, and the demographics have been entered correctly, and the providers are entering the information into the note correctly, all of these should be green for you. Again, if for some reason it's not, you can always check the status, and the program will tell you what's missing and where to go to fix it. Here, I need to edit the demographics. So I can click the Edit Demographics button, and I can see if there are any yellow fields that are missing. And there are. I'll simply fill those in and move on to the next tab. Now I'm going to check the status, and we got another green one. So once you hit all of these turned green for your billing and counter statuses, there's only a couple more steps and then you're done. With the integrated clearinghouse, all you simply have to do is prep your claims and then submit your claims, and they will go to your clearinghouse. If this is not an integrated clearinghouse that you're using, you will still prep your claims and submit your claims, but you'll have a few extra steps. So right now I'm going to prep these claims. Now, before I do that, if for some reason that you don't want to submit all of these claims, let's just say you want to submit these 3 and not that 4th one, you can hit the select button next to each one that you want to submit, and you're going to use these prep selected claims, submit selected claims. And this will only focus on the ones that have the select button highlighted by them. Now I want to send all of these. So I'm going to prep claims. And it asks me, do I want to prep them as primary or secondary? And I'm going to put primary. And then it'll ask me to confirm that, and also give me an option that if I'm resubmitting a claim that perhaps was denied because something was missing, that you can mark that as a corrected claim. You can also add in some additional detail that may be required by certain payers. Otherwise, click continue, and our program will process those, and the billing and counter status will actually turn colors. They will turn blue. At this point, you can click on the claim, and it will show a HCFA view, which you can scroll up and down just to make sure everything's placed correctly. And you can also view the 837, and it will populate those details for you so you can look at these beautiful loops and segments. Once you're done, just click continue, and you don't have to look at every single one. Just if you need to check it, you can. Now that those are blue, we're actually going to click submit claims. And when we click that, a pop-up screen will let us know that the claim file has been saved to the ICANotes document site, is now being uploaded to the Electronic Claims Clearinghouse. And this is for integrated clearinghouses. We recommend confirming the receipt of this batch by the clearinghouse. Please contact them for this procedure. And please allow up to 1 minute for the claim file to arrive on the clearinghouse website. So it usually doesn't take a full 60 seconds, but we like to make sure to give it time just for any other kind of intermittent issues that may be occurring. And also intermittent connection internet connection can delay the process. We will continue to send those, or attempt to send those, once a minute for 5 minutes if it's internet related. Simply click OK. You'll see that the color will change. It is now purple. And that means that it has been submitted to the clearinghouse if it's an integrated one. Now I'm going to scroll to the right to show you the other half of the screen. In this area, you'll see where the information is showing that the charge was added to the patient accounts portion of the program, which is the practice management side. And you'll also see claim history. This provides information on what actions were taken on this specific claim, who did it, what day and time, and what action they took. You'll see here at 10:21 at 2:27 p.m. that Ray Morris prepped this claim, primary with secondary. And you'll also see that she submitted it not even, well, a little bit of about a minute later. And you'll see that this claim is sending. You can click this little refresh button next to the sending, and it'll let you know if it was delivered. And if you click one on the batch, it updates it for all of them. And that's how you submit claims electronically. If at any point you need to resubmit a claim, you can prep the claim to resubmit, or you can use the select button to re-prep and to resubmit them. You can also print out the HCFA forms. Please note that it only prints out the front of the HCFA form in red as long as you have color ink, but not the back. So you do have those options as well. You can also export this report. And if for some reason that you updated your charges or codes got changed in settings and directories, and you need the program to recalculate the charge amount, say for some reason it's not pulling the charge, you can always click this recalculate charge amounts to pull in the data. Other than that, that's all there is for electronic billing. I hope this video is helpful and that you're having a great day. Thanks.